Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called 12 Culture Shocks Moving to Sweden. I think the amount of culture shock you experience when moving to a country is always going to depend on where you're from originally. I think if you're from another place, in this case Sweden, but if you're from another place in Scandinavia, you're from Norway or Finland or Denmark, I think you're going to experience less of a culture shock because a lot of things are just, regional and they're not that different. But obviously if you're coming from I don't know, South Africa, probably things are gonna be pretty different. So I'm curious to see how big of a culture shock it's gonna be, because I don't know where she's from. But let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Hello everybody. So I asked you guys on Instagram for video ideas for this week, and I would say the majority of you guys wanted to know more about my experience living in Sweden. So I figured that I would talk about culture shock. Okay, so this idea was Evelina's idea. I hope I said your name right. But before we begin, if you're new to my channel, then let's make this channel an even bigger channel by subscribing. I post on a weekly basis, and hit that like button for me. That really helps my video, and also commenting something simple or just saying hello in the comment section. It helps push my videos out there. So please help a girl out. I've been doing this for a long time, and I would love to just keep growing. Before we get into it, drinking from my Moomin cup. So this is all based off of me being a Canadian living in Sweden. These are just little things that I've noticed, and I figure, why not share them on the internet? Something that I notice with Swedish people is small talk isn't as much of a thing here, especially if you're paying for something, or
I'm wondering if that's why people see them as less friendly, just because, not that small talk means that you're friendly, but I think that's just sort of what I would expect most people to think. It's oh, well, small talk means friendly.
Or at cash registers, it's not really a thing. In Canada, you wait in line.
I'm wondering also, if they don't want to talk, because they're not into that too much small talk, if the self-checkout machines have not, don't they have those there? You can just get rid of the actual cashiers
At the cash register, and then, they'll ask you how was your day? And even if they don't really care, they're just kind of
it's
yeah,
automatic.
how are you? Well, that's nice. I don't really care, but I'm just making small talk because I want to be polite. And in Sweden, it's just kind of, I find myself trying to make small talk because I'm just so used to it. And they'll just kind of,
the cashiers are shut up, please.
sometimes it's good. And I'm just
Crickets.
if they're a little bit more chatty, then they will, chat back. But generally it's just kind of pay and then leave.
Yeah,
I do
bye.
kind of wish that Canada was a little bit more like that sometimes, because sometimes you really just want to pay for your stuff and go, and you don't want to chit chat. I also noticed that Swedes seem to be less bothered by silences in conversations.
I think that's very important, because I think culturally, I don't know if this is a Canadian thing, an American thing, or whatever thing, people I think try to feel awkward. People see silences as awkward, not necessarily means they're awkward, but it's just silence. It's just it's awkward. I have to fill it with something, and that's where you say whatever. But it's it doesn't necessarily, a silence doesn't mean awkward, not necessarily.
If there is a lull in the conversation, Swedes, at least from what
they
I
don't
noticed,
care.
will just kind of sit back and, okay, I don't know if it's the people that I surround myself with. I really don't. But I noticed that when the conversation starts to dip, one person or multiple people will make the sound. They're kind of okay with letting the conversation just kind of dip into a silence.
It's fine.
But for me, I'm just kind of oh God, it's a silence. Okay, think of all the things that you need to talk about to fill the silence. And I have so much anxiety when it comes to silences. This is
Again, that's a normal thing. I think it's just a people's thing. Certain people like feel this way, and then also depends on like what person you're talking to. Because if someone that you're comfortable with, it's okay. You're not gonna feel the necessity of like, oh my god, I have to feel the silence with something. But sometimes there's awkward pauses and awkward silences for a reason. Just putting it out there. But I understand where she's coming from. I think, but in general, I think we should be like more comfortable with silences. It's fine. We don't have to like always fill it with sounds and talk.
another thing that I find really hilarious, but it feels like Swedes kind of go out of their way to like avoid interactions with like neighbors. There was this TikTok once. I think it was either made by, I'm not sure if it was a Norwegian. I'll insert it now.
When Norwegians meet their neighbor.
And I just find that so hilarious because for me, I can feel that in myself, but I force myself to like interact with people because that's like the polite thing to do.
True.
At least that's how I've been taught. But like,
yeah,
Swedes are just kind of like, oh, the neighbor's outside. Let me just wait until he or she just leaves. There was this one moment where
I think it's interesting what she said. I think you're taught from a certain age of like, that's not polite. Like you have to talk to people. But I love that in Sweden, they're just like, they don't care. It's fine.
Where me and Sebastian were getting ready to leave the apartment. Our neighbor is like in the hallway and Sebastian, like he's like opening the door and then he closes the door and I look at him like, what's happening? And he was like, oh, the neighbor's outside. And I'm like, so? Okay. And he waits for the neighbor to go into his apartment. He pretends that he forgot something in our apartment, waiting for our neighbor to go into his apartment.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious because
so theatrical. Like
I can feel that part of me like wanting to do things like that, but it's just like the polite thing to do to go outside and say hi neighbor. I just thought that was really funny because I'm like yeah, I mean I could get down with this way of living.
How long is this going?
Oh no, Swedes waiting for their neighbor to leave the corridor before going out. Okay, so it's a Swedish thing. Like there's videos of this, so it's a cultural thing.
I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer. That's the Scandinavian way of life, the way of working, the like everything when it comes to like work-life balance is much better than it is in North America. Most people have to have their summer vacation. Like it's just, it's just no discussion. It just you just have to have your summer break. In North America, it's just kind of like,
it's good because it's forcing you not to be a workaholic.
You have to schedule your paid time off, and a lot of people don't have like a summer break. In Canada, we would be paid every second week. We would get like our paycheck for the last 2 weeks, but here it's like you get your paycheck on a specific day every month instead of every 2 weeks.
That's interesting.
Wednesdays are like a second Friday. I remember passing by a bar and seeing it like really full.
It's called Little Saturday because like you get paid on that day, so you could just go out and spend your money. Is that the logic behind this all?
A Wednesday, and noticing that Wednesdays the streets seem to be a little bit rowdier. And I asked Sebastian,
because it's payday.
It's like, why is it so busy on a Wednesday? And he said, oh, because like Wednesday is kind of like a sort of middle of the week type of Friday.
Hump day.
I guess like hump day. They
Exactly.
go out and have drinks and it's like something people can look forward to in the middle of the week. And I'm sure some people do that in North America, but it definitely wasn't. It's not a thing with like the people I was around back in Canada, and like people just want to go home midweek and they're just like looking forward to Friday. So Candy I
think it makes it a little like easier, like if you have like a day, again, it's a hump day. It's hump day, it's the middle of the week, and it gives you a little of like a respite in order to go through, like I have to get through Friday.
And the weekends is a big thing here, especially I think on Saturdays. Even if you're a full-grown adult, in the grocery stores, there'll be like a section where there's
I love
assorted
this
candy. there'll be like a lot of people at the candy section of grocery stores because they need to get their candy. I will say this, if you're ever going to go to Sweden, I highly suggest trying one of these because Swedish candy is just on a whole other level.
Oh my God, I want
their
to try
candy
so bad.
is so good. Except I still can't get down with the licorice thing. That's another thing. Like, Swedes are crazy about licorice, and for me, licorice is like really bitter. I'm not used to licorice. I'm sure if you grow up with licorice and have had it your entire life, then it probably tastes really good. But for me, I'm just like, oh.
I think it's an acquired taste. I'm pretty sure I have this, like as a child, and that's disgusting.
It's definitely an acquired taste for me. This is another thing that a lot of people talk about when they're a foreigner in Sweden, and it's liquor stores. For me, I don't drink, so it's not something I probably would have noticed if I just lived by myself, because I would never go to a liquor store. On occasion, I will accompany Sebastian to the liquor store. Here, they just have one type of like liquor store company, like a branch. At least where I lived in Canada, there were a lot of liquor stores, like different companies, all over the place. At least in the city that I live in, there's really only one liquor store that's like easily walking distance in the city, and the other one I think is like further outside of the city, but I've never been there. I've never seen it. I found it really interesting, like seeing the long line of people waiting to buy liquor for special occasions like Christmas. Like the liquor store today, it's a Monday.
There's a line to like get alcohol when again it's like a special occasion, I guess in midsummer as well. That's insane to me that a country like this like gets lines for people to buy alcohol.
Closes at 6. In Canada, like the liquor stores where I lived, some of them would close at like 9 or 10. Some of them even later, like some at like midnight or something like that. Like normal. Here it's just they close at a specific time, and then they're also closed on Sundays. Also, in general, stores.
What happens if you have a special occasion or you're just craving it, whatever, and your work, most people get out of work at like 5 or 6. So it's like, when am I getting the alcohol if I can't go? Like, it's closed at 6.
Tend to close earlier here than I'm used to, especially on weekends. Back home, they tend to stay open later because they want more money. They want more customers. So they will keep their store hours later on the weekends because they know people are out late on the weekends. But here, it's kind of the opposite, which I find really interesting. Fika.
That's weird to me.
So this is basically a time of day where you have coffee or like a pastry, and you usually have it with a friend or
I love this concept.
Other people, and you're just there to enjoy your coffee and just.
What happens if you work, like if you do like work from home, or yes, you work from home? I think that's the only thing. Like, do you still get fika but on your own? Is that a thing? And you have to get out of your house?
Chat. I really love fika. I wish that we would have a version of that back home. But yeah, it's kind of like a way of life, a way of living. Like you have to, it's like Swedes are serious when it comes to fika. Back home, I would, hang out with my sister and we'd be like, do you want to go to Starbucks? And so we would go to Starbucks and we would grab a cup, like a Starbucks cup to go. And we would like walk around the neighborhood sipping our coffees and just talking. And that's definitely not a thing here. It's an automatic that you're going to get your...
Oh, because you have to sit down and drink it, right?
Coffee in a regular cup, like in a regular mug.
In a ceramic cup that you can't actually take to go.
And it's just a given that you're going to sit down and drink it. And I honestly prefer that in a lot of ways. Like it's better than to just like grab your cup to go and like stress drink. Cafes are usually very packed, and I like that. I like a packed cafe as long as you have somewhere to sit. I recently did engagement photos. If you watched my last video, you will know. And Something that I realized isn't a thing here in Sweden is engagement photos. So in Canada, it's and in North America in general, I think it's more common to get engagement photos. Like everyone I know that has gotten engaged, or every married couple has had engagement photos. It's just like, you know, it's just part of the process.
I don't think it's part of the process. You can get engaged and not do this, but it's just like they're very popular. I think, especially like in recent years, maybe the last 10 years. I think it's just more common, but not everyone does that. Like it's just a thing of like you have to be very into like, I don't know, social media maybe, and I don't know. It's just a certain amount of people. Certain people do it, you know, not everyone, but yes, it's very common.
I don't really know why. I guess it's just to document your engagement, but
I don't think it's to document. I think it's more about like announcing the world, hey, we got engaged. This is a beautiful photo that we just did to announce people.
In Sweden, that's not really a thing. I think it's becoming more common now,
okay,
a little bit, but people tend to just get a photographer for their weddings.
Yeah,
and to get
like
a wedding photographer than to get a photographer for an engagement shoot. Like it's just not as popular here. Which I see why. How dark it gets in the fall and winter, and how bright it is in the summertime. Personally, I really love that in the summertime, the sun doesn't fully set until like sometimes like 10 p.m. And even sometimes in the summertime, it doesn't get like fully dark. In
the full darkness, I think, well, your mileage may vary there, but I think the whole like sun being out till like 10, I think those places, like those types of places, I think are nicer just because it gives you like more opportunity to do things throughout the day. It's like, oh, the day's not over.
The winter time, the sun sets so early. Like sometimes you barely see any daylight, it feels like, in the winters. It gets dark very quickly. Like even right now when I'm filming this at like 3 p.m. and it's like, it's November and it's
dark.
Fairly pitch black out right now. I think it's definitely something to experience though. This is how dark it is right now, and it is 4:30 p.m.
Oh my god.
30 p.m. This is what 4:30 p.m. looks like in central Sweden. But yeah,
I thought it was gonna be like dusk. No, it's dark.
That's it for my video for now. I do have some life updates to mention, but nothing is set in stone right now, so I don't really want to say anything until I know for sure. So with that being said, if you're interested in following any of my social media accounts, then all the links are down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any video suggestions, then you can email me. My email is in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Much love, guys. Bye.
Okay, so I think like that last point, I think it's just like I think it's awful just because again, I don't know that depends on the person, but I think me personally, and I would say most people, it's like it's good when the sun sets out, like again at like 9 or 10, because I think you always, as humans, I think we get the sense of like, oh, it's still like there's still light, so while there's still light outside, I can still go out and do stuff like, oh, I can go out to grab a cup of coffee. I can go grab dinner, or I could just grab food. I could go to the grocery store. Like there's so many things that you can do because it's still daylight. Like you wouldn't go out. I think you get the sense of like when it's dark outside. Well, you'll go out to dinner, but when it's dark outside, you feel like, oh, there's less things to do in general because this is like dark, and I think your body's telling you like, well, maybe grab something, like grab a drink, or maybe go grab dinner, and like, you know, you have to go home and sleep. But in this, you know, and that's I think what's tripping me out. It's like I love this when there's a time period of the year where that happens, and especially, well, it depends on where you're from. But when that happens during the summer, like I think I love it. It's just like, yes, you feel like you're so productive throughout the day, even though like you're still doing work. It's like, oh, I'm working, and it's like 8, and I'm not really feeling it. Not that you shouldn't actually. Not that I'm saying yes, you should definitely work till 8 p.m. But it's just like, again, when it's just like day and still sunlight, there's still sunlight. like, you feel more productive in general. You still feel like, oh, maybe I can clean my house. It's fine. It's not that late. Although it is, obviously, but because there's still like sun. I think your body, or at least my brain, I know, gets tricked into thinking like still we can still be productive. Like it's not time to it's still not time to like get out, get home, and sort of like get ready for bed. But when it's obviously like when it's dark and it's getting so dark at like 3, who wants to do anything? I'm thinking 3 p.m. It's like, well, I should get going, right? It's like, no, it's still 3. Like the minute, like you still have so much time, so much hours before you actually like get ready for bed. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to do anything. It's like so dark that it's awful. I don't know. Again, I don't know how long this lasts. I think probably a few months. More than a few months, probably. But I think that's awful. That's gonna be, I think it's maybe you have to obviously get used to this. And again, it's like, as in your body gets tricked into like doing more work, like in the summer, like you need to trick your body into the same of like, no, ignore the darkness. Like even if like, oh, I'm gonna work out, it's like, no, it's like, it's already dark. Like it's not even worth it. It's like, no, it's okay. Like it's still 4 o'clock. You can still like go out to the gym. Like, no, I would find it such a like mind twist situation with this of like, no, I think I want to go to bed. It's like, no, it's still quite early. So it's gotta be something that is gonna be very hard to get used to. I'm pretty sure. Like I think that would be like the biggest one for me. But the fika one, I'm with her. Like she was like, yes, I wish like we could actually adapt this more in other places. And I wholeheartedly agree with this. I think we should all take a fika break. It's like, again, I'm not super like I know what it entails, like I think like I know the basics. I don't think I know, like, because I have questions still about like how fika works. And again, I don't know if it's like in a specific moment of the day where you take your fika, or you can take it wherever you want to. And also, do I have to go outside to like a coffee shop to do this? Can I make myself coffee in my home and maybe have a pastry to go and have this at my house? Can I grab a coffee to go and have it at home? Probably not, because they're gonna look at you weird and say like, just drink it here. So, I think I have some questions about what fika means in very specific circumstances, as in like, what happens if you don't work at an office? And in an office, does everyone sort of like go out and take their fika break at the same time? Do they take turns? Does the office just like it's empty because everyone's doing fika? So it's like, no, it's no, you can't do fika, like, or it's like, no, the office cannot, because someone, especially if it's like in customer service, what happens with like cashiers, for instance? Do they get a fika break as well? Is it like, oh, I'm taking my fika break, do I have to do it alone? Do you want to come with me? But we can't because there's customers, so we have to take turns. Again, like in very specific cases, I think I'm wondering how the fika situation actually works. And is it also like, it includes Saturdays and Sundays for people that work Monday to Friday? Do they do fika as well on the weekends? Or is just a thing about being in the workplace and you need a break? And from my understanding, I think people in like kids in school also do it, but obviously when in school it's different. You can just like get out and say, I'm taking my fika break. A 5-year-old is not going to tell you that. So do they take their fika break as in like a recess? Is it like, yes, the whole class is taking fika, so we have to like, we have to pause class and do this? And again, do they do it at specific, like it's the whole school, it's just the class? How do fika works in a school? Actually, I'm thinking about this and I'm like, okay, how do they do it? Do they go to the cafeteria and do they provide fika? The school provides their fika? Do they give them like a cup of coffee and a pastry? How young do they start? I think you can start having coffee. I think it's, it depends on the person, but some people like can have like coffee with milk. Some kids as young as like 3-year-olds, 3.5-year-olds, maybe 4-year-olds. I don't know if that's, again, depends on the parent, but sometimes there's like, again, more milk than coffee, but that's allowed. Or kids that young do not start getting fika. Is it like maybe a high school thing? So many questions about fika, but I would love to know more, because I think it's a very interesting concept. And it's more about like taking a break mentally and, enjoying the moment and just having it's just like enjoying a moment. And that's not stuck inside the 4 walls that you've been stuck in since I don't know, 10 or 9 a.m. So I understand the concept and I love it. I wish that more people, like more countries, would adopt this. And culturally, I think because you get a coffee break, but I don't think that's the same. Like maybe if you could, like if you can get a coffee break, you're saying, hey, I'm going for a coffee break. That's not probably the same thing because you're not doing this every day. You're not saying, well, but actually, I know that, I know that yes, I want a coffee break. Like if I can do it like Monday to Friday, I'm doing this. But not everyone, again, does it. Again, it's like I have so many questions about this. The liquor thing, to me, like the liquor store, that's strange to me. I think they do it obviously to control the how much amount of alcohol their citizens are getting. But how much of a problem was it that they did this? And again, when I'm guessing it stopped being a problem because if it's so hard to get alcohol, then I'm guessing it's very like the alcoholism rates must be like pretty low over there. So why don't they are they scared? Like if we make the switch, like are we gonna like the alcoholism rate is gonna go up again? Is that what they did it? I'm so confused about that situation. And also if you're a tourist, you obviously have to abide to these rules, but it's kind of like, do I have to stand in line to get alcohol? Maybe not, because I think if you're a tourist, it's more common to just go out to a bar and sort of like grab a couple of drinks or going to dinner and going to dinner and just having drinks. I don't know, like I'm so confused about the liquor situation. That's very strange to me, especially for a country that apparently is very like big on freedom and personal freedom. Doesn't that include or would include buying alcohol? Because it's freedom. I'm free to actually buy the amount of alcohol that I want to. If it's, it's going to tell you, like, people are going to tell you, hey, it's bad, actually, if you're drinking that much. But again, it's like, I can advise you not to, but at the end of the day, it's your own freedom, it's your own life, and if you want to destroy your life, well, that's on you, like not on everyone else. So again, it's really confusing to me, the concept of the government and the country itself controlling the amount of alcohol that each citizens get. That to me it's like a very strange concept. I get why they do this, but I think it's weird. Or unless I'm missing out a very big. I'm guessing I'm missing a very big a piece of the puzzle, and pretty big piece of the puzzle, and a piece of context that tells me like why they do this. And also, why are they still doing this? Because I can guess to why they did it, like back in, I don't know when the system started, but are they scared of this returning them? Because then that's why they have to keep it controlled. I don't know, because to me, it's always going to be bad to control things, because I think if you're that restrictive, I think people are just going to go, I want to do this more. It's like, it's the thing about like when someone tells you, I don't know, if you're not, like, let's assume, like, you don't like chocolate, but, like, your doctor tells you, hey, you can't have chocolate, and that's what you need in order to, like, crave chocolate. I think humans will have that of, like, oh, it's forbidden, so, I want more now. So if it's restrictive, then they're being that restrictive about alcohol. I'm wondering, if that, again, is that counteractive? Because people are just going to be like, I need it. But if it's free, then people are, it's free where you can get it wherever you want to. Then people are just like, it's fine, I don't need to get it, like I'm not craving it, it's fine. So again, that's I think what my mentality, that has always been the case. Like if you restrict something, people are gonna go wild, but if you let them be, like, it's just gonna be normal. But apparently no, probably Sweden's probably wrong, but again, I think I'm just missing out on the why are they actually doing this in this day and age. But yes, this was very very actually quite funny. But yes, I think I agree with her in a lot of different things, especially like I like the whole like sweets situation as well. Like alcohols, get it, yes, I love this, and more countries should actually implement this. And I'm with her as well in the whole licorice thing, that it's kind of disgusting actually. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.